What's up guys, Perry from Rockville here, and today I'm going to show you how to set up the RHT28D stands. So as you can see, it comes with two columns. You also get two base plates for the bottom of each stand. And it also comes with two different options of top plates for the stand. So we have a smaller option if you plan on mounting smaller speakers to the top of the stand. And you also get a bigger plate if you plan on mounting bigger speakers to the stands. It also comes with all the hardware that you need to put the stands together, along with rubber feet to place the stands on a hardwood floor, or these spikes to place the stands on your carpet. You also get optional foam pads to place on the top plates in case you don't want your speakers scratching the top plates. And it also comes with zip ties and cable management clips that are also optional, so you have a nice organized setup. So the first thing we can do to set up our stands is attach the bottom base plate to the bottom of the stands. So to do that, I'm going to take each column and flip them upside down. So on the bottom of the column, you'll see these holes here, and you'll see that the base plates have these matching holes or punctures that we're gonna match to the holes here on the bottom of the column. You may also see that these punctures here are closed off by some film. So if you want, you can take one of your screws and punch some holes through them to make it easier for when you're setting it up to your column. So I went ahead and punctured some holes here through the film so that it makes it easier to attach to the stand. So I can take my base here and line it up to the holes here on the bottom of the column. So next I'm gonna take 4 of these screws and line them up to the holes on the bottom of my base plate. Now from here you can take a drill or a screwdriver to screw the screws into the stand. So after we've done that for the first base plate, we're gonna do the exact same thing with the second base plate. So after you've put the base plates onto your stand, you now have the option of what type of feet you want to put at the very bottom of the base. So we have two options to choose from. We have the rubber feet, and you'd want to use these if you were planning on placing your stands on hardwood floor. And then we have these spikes here, which would be used if you're planning on putting your stands onto a carpet or a rug. So if you're planning on using these spikes, you're gonna take each one and line them up to each screw hole on the corners of your base, like so. And keep in mind, you don't have to screw these all the way in. So for example, if you take your spike and screw it in just once, you'll see that the spike stays on there. And this is an interesting feature because it can help keep your stands level if you're placing it on a carpet or a rug. So you can take these spikes and screw them in all the way, or just enough so that it's nice and even with your floor. And again, if you want to set these stands on a hardwood floor, you're going to be using the rubber feet. So you're just going to take each rubber foot and line up the screw of the foot to the screw holes on the corner of your base plates and line them up just like that, and screw the foot on just like this. So you're just going to continue this process with all of the rubber feet. And whether you're using the rubber feet or the spikes, you're just going to do the exact same thing to match for your second stand here. So now that we've got the base plates attached to each stand, we can go ahead and take care of the top of each stand. Now because the columns of these stands are hollow on the inside, you actually have the option to add some sand to the inside of the speaker stands so that they have some more stability. But this is completely optional, so you don't have to worry about this step, but you might want to consider it if you find the stands are unstable when you're placing your speakers on top. So once you have the base of the stands all set up, you can now choose which top plate you want to use for the top of the stand. So again, we have the option of using the smaller plates or the larger plates depending on the size of your speakers. So if you're going to mount some smaller speakers onto the top of these stands, we recommend you use the small plate. And if you plan on mounting larger speakers, you're going to be using the larger plates. First, let's go over how to attach the smaller plates. Just like the base plates for the bottom of the stand, you'll see these punctures here on the plates to indicate where you're going to screw it on to the top of the stand. If it helps at all, you can take one of your screws and puncture some holes through the film so that you can line the plate up easier to the top of your stand. So now you're going to line up the holes of your plate to the holes here on the top of your stand, just like this. And next you're going to take 4 more screws and line them up to these holes like this. From here, you can use a drill or a screwdriver to secure the plate onto the stand by screwing in the screws. Next, we're going to take the second top plate and follow the same exact steps to attach it to our second stand. Now from here, you have the option to add the sound isolation pads to the corners of your plate here. So you can take off the adhesive of each foam pad and just line them up to the corners of your plate like that. Also, line up these pads further inside of the plate. And once we're all set, we can take our speakers and line them up to the top of our stands. Now keep in mind, if you are planning on mounting some larger speakers onto these stands, you'll want to opt for the larger top plate. So when you take a look at the plate, you'll see these punctures here, and this is going to indicate where the holes of the plate are going to be so that it can line up to the top of your stand. If it helps at all, you can take one of your screws and puncture some holes through the film that's covering the holes. So now from here, you can line up the holes of your plate to the holes here on the top of the stand, just like this. Then you can take 4 of the screws and run them through the holes of your plate like this. And now from here, you can take a drill or a screwdriver to secure the plate onto the stand by screwing them in. So after we do that for the first stand, we're going to do the exact same thing for the second stand. From here, we have the option to add the sound isolation pads to the corners of our plate here, and we can do that by removing the adhesive sticker on the back of each pad. And then we just line them up to each corner like this. If placing these on the corners are too far out for your actual speakers, you can always bring them a little further in like this. And once we're all set, we can take our speaker and line it up to the top of our stand. So after our stands are all set up, we still have the option to add these wire management clips to the back of our stands so that we have a nice organized setup. It comes with 2 of these per stand, so to set them up, we're going to start by taking 2 of these clips and take off the adhesive sticker on the back. Then we can take one and set it up closer to the top of the stand and set up the other one closer to the bottom of the stand. You'll then do the exact same thing on the second speaker stand, and now from here you can take the wires that are coming from your speakers and run them through these clips, so again you have a nice organized setup. Now if you're using bigger wires or cables with your setup and they don't fit through the wire management clips, you can always use the zip ties that come included and use those to attach the cables to your wire management clips. So hopefully this showed you guys how easy it is to set up your RHT28D stands. But of course, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free to reach out to our customer support team through phone or email. As always, I'm Perry from Rockville, and we'll see you guys next time.